why do atheists seem to bust on Jesus? That's what my question
because
is.
Jesus, because the God of the Bible in all of his different personalities is not a good person.
I don't believe in Christianity. I'll tell you that. I'm not a Christian at all. I'm not even close.
Do you believe in a God? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Paul, what were you saying?
My God. My God's name is evolution.
Forrest and I are not here to answer for what atheists that are not on the show say.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious in general because you guys watch other atheists. I do too.
But you
don't.
You tell me what specifically are we? I study Jesus every single day, like it's my job because it is. So,
okay, so what did he do bad?
Well, I would say my problem with Jesus is that I have no idea what he did. None. I have no.
He fed people, he helped people, and he showed them.
How do you know that
they are human?
How do you know that he did any of those things?
Okay, hold on. Even if he did not exist, the fact that he would walk by a blind man and help the man just because he was being kind is a good personality for a human.
Hold on, Christopher.
Correct.
So you're talking about the character. You want to abstract this to the character of Jesus as portrayed in the Bibles, right? Because I can happily have that conversation with you.
Just being a nice guy that would help people out for no money.
So why do people dislike? So why do people dislike that character the same way they might dislike Moriarty, or they might dislike Darth Vader, or they might dislike Frodo, that little jerk?
Other characters that don't exist. Yeah.
Well, basically, the character of Jesus helped people like Martin Luther King and helped people like Nelson Mandela to free people from slavery.
So did other characters.
Martin Luther King was a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general.
The character of Socrates helped a lot of people as well become better people and change the world in good ways. We don't know if Socrates was real either. So, like, just saying he's a good character, first of all, no, he's not. But so first of all, this character is not a good character wholly. He has some good qualities, but he's not overall a good dude. And even if he was, he's still just a character.
Bad. What did Jesus do that was bad?
So
that's
first
what I want to hear.
Jesus is supposedly the Son of God and supposedly also somehow God himself. It's a weird thing with the Trinitarianism. I don't dig it. But like this character of Jesus comes in following the Old Testament, where you have the God who promotes slavery and genocide and all this shit that we talked about in the last call. And Jesus does not say, listen, y'all, slavery is actually bad, it turns out. It turns out genocide is bad. Jesus says, not a jot or a tittle of the law shall change until all things come to pass. I come not to change the law, but to fulfill it. No one shall love me unless they hate their parents and their brother. I come to set brother against brother. I come not to bring peace, but the sword.
Where are you getting this information from?
I'm just going to put you on mute for a second because you can't stop interrupting us long enough to listen. Yeah, that's also, he also says that anybody who doesn't want to follow me, bring them before me and kill them before me because they're my enemy. Like this Jesus character has some nice stuff and also some insane stuff, depending on which part of what gospel you read, because they're horribly internally inconsistent. This is the same character that cured the blind man, is the same character who set a fucking tree on fire because it didn't have any figs for him. So like he's depends on where you're reading. He's a lunatic. I'll now bring you back, Christopher.
That's what I'm curious.
You were talking while we were talking again. That's why we muted you. So now you can respond to what we were saying.
Okay, where are you getting your information from? The Holy Bible, and religious texts. Who wrote the Bible? The Catholic Church, correct?
No.
So you think that the Bible is inaccurate about... Where did the Bible come from? Christopher,
where did the Bible come from?
Christopher, if you think there's a better source on the life and times of Jesus than the Bible, I would like to hear it.
I would love to read the Dead Sea Scrolls. I would love to know what's on that information. Okay,
but you already have. So
the Dead Sea Scrolls were all written
because the
hundreds of years before Jesus lived, so that would be not helpful.
Yeah, that's not really going to do anything for you.
When Jesus actually lived, or I never said Jesus was a true or not true person. I'm not a Christian. I said the quality.
I understand that.
But
I understand that. But you did say, Christopher, it's so frustrating. You said that even if Jesus didn't exist, the character is this person or that person. We're drawing upon the character of Jesus from the only reliable, like consistent place where the character of Jesus is derived from, which is the Bible. Where else would we be getting information about the character of Jesus?
Did the people that wrote the scriptures, whatever religion, believe in slavery, believe in doing all these horrible things to humans?
Yes.
The people who wrote the Bible, they believed in doing this to humans. They wrote the Bible. They're the ones that are going to say this is acceptable.
But
okay,
right. So which means the character in the book that they wrote is also going to be despicable. So despicable people wrote a despicable book with a despicable character. And yes, Jesus said and did some good things.
But wouldn't they also write negative things about that character? If I was going to write to make someone look bad, I'm going to write bad things about that character in my book. The religion wrote the Bible.
Who wrote the Bible
in the Bible
deliberately write things about Jesus that are bad. That's a silly thing to say.
In the Bible, is there anything in the Bible that is actually written by Jesus?
No.
Why not?
It's all just stories about him.
Because Jesus died before at least 30 years, if not 100 years
before the Bible was written.
Before the Bible was written. So Jesus didn't.
As far as we know,
Matthew's
didn't have a diary.
In the Bible, and Peter's in the Bible, and the writings are in the Bible. Now, if Jesus was a genius and spoke several languages.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, they're handing me down. I don't believe the Bible either. I'm trying to fix the
We know. You've told us.
Christopher, this is like called into a show and said,
no, what I want to show you.
Spider-Man.
I'm just going to mute him for a second.
So, Christopher, if you call a show and say, I want to talk about why people don't like Spider-Man, and we give you a list and you say, well, those are things that Stan Lee liked, why are you blaming Spider-Man for them? And we're like, well, that's because I thought we were talking about the Stan Lee character.
Right? It's so frustrating, Christopher. Like you're not consistent with your own argument. We know you're not a Christian. We know you don't believe this. We very clearly established that we're talking about the character of Jesus. The character of Jesus is from the Bible. The character of Gandalf is from the Lord of the Rings. If we're going to talk about Gandalf and whether or not he was a good guy, we're going to be referencing the Lord of the Rings. And it doesn't help to say, well, what about what J.R.R. Tolkien said? It's just, is Gandalf the character good? Is Spider-Man the character good? Is Jesus the character good? Spoiler alert, Gandalf good, Spider-Man pretty good, Jesus no. Just like it's not hard, man. We're having a hypothetical situation here. We're all friends. We're all good. We don't need to be talking over each other and yelling and being strange. We'll bring you back on one more time, but I'll be honest with you, Christopher, it's not going great. So, Christopher, the character of Jesus is not a good person. That answers your question, right?
Look. No, it doesn't. What I'm trying to show you is the person itself. To me, Jesus is just the ideal human. Okay? The human that would help all humans. Okay?
He's not ideal. He's not ideal in any way.
You're talking about Cal.
Yes, exactly.
There's another reference to Jesus. There's so many different characters in human history that portray the same remnants of Jesus, helping humans evolve.
Kal-El is no more of a reference to Jesus than anybody in the world. He's a good guy who did
a
good
savior
things
of
sometimes.
humanity that does good things for no reason other than to be kind.
That is not a trait that is solely attributable to Jesus. There were plenty of hero stories before and after Jesus that had nothing to do with each other. Just because somebody's a good person doesn't mean that they're like Jesus or an analogy to Jesus. And if it is, I want to see the part of the Bible where Jesus had fucking heat vision, y'all. That sounds cool.
Joe Schuster was Jewish and didn't like Christians.
Wait a minute.
So...
I can show you things that Jesus... Okay, tell me something. Can Superman hear all the world's suffering?
No, well, maybe. I don't know.
He can hear all... He can hear everything, so he can hear all the world's suffering. So can Jesus. Wow. What a comparison. I could easily compare the two.
Oh, this is, if you were a literary student, you can give me any two characters that I can compare.
It's a hero story. That's all Jesus is.
Yeah, so you're just saying
hero stories are not derived from Jesus. It's just a type of media.
No, but he's a good character to keep the hero story going.
He's not.
I don't like the Bible.
No.
I like the idea of someone helping someone for no other reason, just because it's the right thing to do.
Version of Jesus. You've created your own fanfic version of Jesus.
I told you I wanted to change the Bible. I said I wanted to change the Bible.
But here's the thing.
I literally want to fix the Bible.
You gotta calm down. You gotta calm down.
I'm enjoying myself.
Forrest and I are not privy to the imaginary character version of Jesus that you have in your head. That's just, unfortunately, so we can't have a discussion about whether the Jesus that you imagine is good or not. That's just, we aren't inside your head. So unfortunately, that's not going to be a productive call.
Also, you're asking why do atheists dog on Christianity. You're asking why atheists do this, like shows like this. It's because the vast majority of Christians that we at least get to talk to, or the people that legislate in this country and all these other, like, they are believing in a very different Jesus than you do. And that's the Jesus we especially don't like. So, like, why do we argue about Jesus? It's because the Jesus in the Bible is not somebody that I think we should be emulating. And also, the Jesus that most Christians believe in is not someone I think we should be emulating. So, like, there's a lot of reasons to excoriate the Jesus of the Bible. That's your whole question, was why do we have a problem with Jesus? Is because every version of Jesus accessible to us, and every version of Jesus that is actually, like, consequential to us is a shitty version of Jesus. That's what we're talking about. That's why we do this show. To answer your question, Christopher, I don't see a reason to continue this conversation.
All right. Well, I guess look at him as just being a nice guy.
He's not. He's not a nice guy.
Christopher, you go write a book where there's a really nice guy in it named Jesus.
There you go. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
Jesus is not a nice guy. Jesus is not a nice guy. And Jesus is in the New Testament is where we get the concept of hell. And if you don't follow Jesus, you burn forever. Like, it's not a nice guy, not worth your time, not worth our time. I did answer your question.
You did answer my question, so thank you very much for your time. And you as a pro now. Thank you,
Christopher. Bye-bye. Good gravy. Like, such a hard stance on such meaningless shit. I don't follow what other people do. That's why I'm not a sheep. And then also, I don't use certain parts of speech because I'm not a sheep. And also, my imaginary version of Jesus is better than yours. Therefore, you can't be mad about it. What to all of it? You know?
Good. You learn more from the troll. Anyway.
Yeah, it was fun. It'll make good content. Sure. Because people, like I said, like this, I can't stress enough. Like, people sometimes in the comments will be like, "Oh, these guys entertain trolls for too long." Number one, you can't fucking tell. I promise you. And number two, like, no matter how crazy it is, we've had a call like that's serious. So, like, I can't, like,
Oh, I don't think Christopher was a troll, by the way. I think Christopher was.
I don't either.
I think he believed that he was selling. Yep.
I think he